The Korean Peninsula is home to two arch-rivals: the reclusive and impoverished Democratic People's Republic of Korea, also known as North Korea, and the vibrant and economic powerhouse of the Republic of Korea, also known as South Korea. The two countries have been technically at war for 74 years, since the start of the Korean War on June 25, 1950. Since 1953, the two nations have maintained an armistice, yet they have yet to negotiate the war's conclusion. This is primarily because North Korea, deeply rooted in the Communist Manifesto philosophy, has not taken peace seriously because it needs social and economic struggle to establish a classless society. North Korea most likely does not want a classless society, but it needs to struggle to keep its power, as without struggle, it would have no reason not to address the needs of its people. Over the last month, this struggle has taken a unique turn. There was a serious attempt in 2018 and 2019 between North Korea, South Korea, and the United States to seek peace and finally end the war by denuclearizing the peninsula and signing a peace treaty. The ongoing talks resulted in the 2018 Inter-Korean Agreement, aimed at reducing military tensions between all parties on the Korean peninsula. The agreement included provisions to cease conducting military drills near the Demilitarized Zone, or DMZ, and to stop broadcasting propaganda across the border. The détente between the US, North Korea, and South Korea was short-lived and has been eroding since 2021. Dissatisfied with the US and South Korean responses to their peace demands, which they perceived as more of a dictate than a negotiation, the North Koreans resumed missile tests, once again posing a threat to the region. The United States and South Korea resumed exercises and strengthened alliances against North Korea, with Japan and South Korea drawing closer to each other in their common security issues with North Korea. When North Korea launched its first spy satellite in November 2023, South Korea partially abandoned the 2018 treaty. North Korea's neighbors' launch of their own spy satellite in December 2023, atop a US SpaceX Falcon 9, infuriated them and prompted them to cancel the agreement altogether. The situation in Korea worsened as both parties chose sides in the Ukraine war, which began in February 2022. North Korea agreed to ship over 1 million artillery shells to Russia and an unspecified number of missiles to use in Ukraine. South Korea, for its part, reached agreements with NATO countries to sell arms to their countries as part of a resurgence in NATO countries rearming after the Russian invasion. South Korea also deepened its partnership with NATO, becoming an increasingly important partner to the West in general, as well as NATO and the European Union in particular. With the serious escalation of missile and nuclear threats, the use of spy satellites, and the deeper engagement outside of the Korean peninsula due to the Ukraine war, it appears that the conflict has entered a new and bizarre realm of asymmetric warfare in the last month. This new theater was an almost comical version of using balloons against each other, but even the most bizarre aspects of this new chapter can have serious ramifications. South Korean civilians have been launching balloons that have wind directions that would carry the balloons across the DMZ. The balloons launched from South Korea included small packages from defectors from North Korea and South Korean activists. The balloons carried food, medicine, money, anti-North Korean messages, and USB sticks with South Korean K-pop and popular drama shows. This was not a new campaign and has been ongoing as the situation eroded from the 2018-2019 détente. This week, the North Koreans responded to the South Koreans' balloon campaign with their own. The North Koreans had at least 260 balloons that carried bags of trash and manure. The South Korean military dispatched wearing protective suits needed to test for explosives, chemical, or biological agents due to the unknown nature of the balloons and the mutual suspicion between the two countries. Despite finding none, South Korea responded harshly. Although North Korea agreed to halt the balloon launches, the damage had already occurred. South Korea suspended the 2018 agreement and announced that it would begin using loudspeakers along the DMZ to blast news and K-pop into the north. More seriously, it stated that it would also conduct military and artillery drills close to the border. The cancellation of the agreement was less of an issue since North Korea had already publicly announced that it had torn up the agreement. The question is, how will North Korea respond to South Korea? While a war is unlikely, one can expect a response, such as a missile launch or its own artillery drills. The impact of something as odd as balloons has created another crisis, albeit a relatively minor one on the peninsula's scale, that will have more repercussions on the 74-year struggle.